Hello my good fellas, today we will find out why Don Corleone sent Luca Brasi to his certain death. Was it a blunder on Don's part, or a wise move? I'd like to say that it's not so straightforward. My name is Ivan Piatouski and you are watching Vano VHS. In the movie, Luca Brasi is a completely passable figure. 2 episodes at the very beginning of the film with a grisly death in the second. This agree is not quite enough. In the novel he has a significantly greater part to play. Not because he often interferes in events or plays an essential role in them, not at all. In the book he dies very soon as well. But he was such an influential figure during his time of life that even many years after his demise, the characters keep referring to Luca Brasi, the man who was Don Corleone's handy Balteria and kept the whole town in a state of terror. And no, this is not an exaggeration. In the movie he is hardly noticed by those around him. One would think he was simply one of the men for slick assignments and dark affairs. In the book, the halo of horror he spread was so great that even ruthless killers and crooked murderers tried to get out of his way. You have to agree that in the underworld of New York in the 40s you have to be a very peculiar person to earn such a reputation. More than once or twice the main characters will recall chilling stories from his life. He alone, according to Sonny, is worth an entire army. And the only person who can give him any orders or just to look him in the eye is Don Corleone. This man wasn't a trained assassin, as we imagined them to be. He was a kind of main caliber of the Corleone family, a mainstay of its throne. The mere thought of Luca Brasi siding with his rivals after the assassination attempt on Vito makes Sonny tremble. And the sponsor of this Vano VHS episode is Audible. Audiobooks are a great way to get a taste of a book without sitting down to read. You can listen to audiobooks in the car, at the gym, and you can read a book at any speed you want to finish reading faster. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks of all genres. The best part is that the app has all those books we love so much. The Godfather, The Family Corleone, The Godfather's Revenge, Wise Guy, Hit 2 by Michael Mann, and many more. Remember when I told you about the special edition of The Godfather with the Coppola introduction? You can listen to it today. All you have to do is visit audibletrial.com/vanovhs and ask for a trial. New users can try Audible for free for 30 days. Goodfellas, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I love books, but I don't always have time to read a paper version. But with Audible I can always enjoy The Godfather on the road or while driving. I really hope you will enjoy it too. Visit audibletrial.com/vanovhs and use a trial. All links are in the description. As an Audible associate, I earn from qualifying purchases, at no cost to you. In the film, his figure looks quite pale and low-key, just a frumpy old gangster, on whom it's unclear why the family has any hopes. They had every reason to hope, and no one, not even Sonny and Michael, had supposed that Solozzo would so quickly and forcefully put this legendary killing machine out of business. I must admit, his death looks a little ridiculous in the film. I mean, you have to be dumb to go to a rival family and offer your services in a straightforward manner. No, if it had been some small-time bookie, it would have been easy to understand. But Luca Brasi himself, what an idiot Solozzo had to look like to buy this. The film shamelessly belittles Luca. He was a bully, but he was by no means an idiot, and he developed his spy legend over several months. Here and there he complained about the Don, then he hung out in the pub of a rival family, and as if by chance he mentioned that he was getting tired of serving the Corleone family. Then he had a mistress, and as if unaware of whose informer she was, also dropped a few words about how he saw himself in 5 years in a young, rapidly developing company. Luca diligently dropped the seeds on fertile ground, so that Solozzo had a sincere desire to buy him out. It didn't work. Solozzo was surprisingly far-sighted and decisive, playing proactively and taking Corleone's key figure out of the game in one fell swoop. By the way, in the book no one put a knife in his hand, they just held his hands while the third thug strangled him from behind. If you're curious about the complete truth about Luca Brasi, I'll leave a link to the video at the end. Well, now it's time to answer. Why did Don send Luca to meet Solozzo? In a nutshell, Don made a stupid mistake. Remember the scene from the first movie when Michael and Vito are sitting and talking? Then Vito said, "Women can afford stupid things, but we men can't." In fact, Don made the mistake of turning Torque down at the first meeting. If he'd said, "I need to think about your offer," he could have bought himself time, which would have given him some extra points. Yes, Don Vito has a lot of wisdom, cunning and courage, traits Michael inherited from his father. But we all have an enemy that's hard to fight – biological age. We change, our brains change, sometimes our productivity drops. That doesn't mean you have to give up on yourself, rather it's an obvious fact. I recently watched an interview with Garry Kasparov. I think there is no need to explain who that is, and he admitted that he has an opponent that he cannot beat, namely the biological clock. He noted that over the years it has become harder for him to play, and he has also started to make more mistakes. Remember Solozzo's words, "Don was sleeping, God rest his soul. Would I have been able to get close to him 2 or 3 years ago?" What has been Don's problem for the last 20 years? The olive oil war? Is it all? Then all the families lived in peace, all made money. I think a lot of people relaxed, including the Godfather. You could say it was a kind of comfort zone. The Corleone family was considered a mighty power, no one wanted to mess with. But here comes Solozzo, who wants to change the game completely. He doesn't play by the rules here. Sure, he follows the code of honor, but this is a new generation, with new methods. When he gets rejected, he sees Vito as a stone in his shoe that prevents him from going forward. He decides to get rid of him and do business with those who are interested in his proposal. Of course, having sent Luca to see Solozzo, Vito desired to obtain intel. What was being prepared? Should he pull out the knives? But Solozzo was more cunning and got the knife first, then thrust it into the hand of Corleone's main weapon. Yes, Luca had a serious reputation. No one thought it would end so quickly for Brasi. Recall the moment when Vito was almost killed in the market. Why the hell would he go there alone, with only Fredo as a guard? Shouldn't Don be with a few reliable people? Again, Vito had relaxed. There was no way he was expecting such a cocky strike, and Solozzo took it and struck. I think his main bet was on unexpectedness. Don Corleone hadn't fully investigated his enemy. He was aware that Tartaglia was helping the Turks' new enterprise, but it was only after a peaceful meeting that he realized who was really pulling the strings. Everyone, including Don, thought Tartaglia was a pimp. Perhaps Vito also doubted the Turks' intelligence. In other words, he underestimated the Turk, which was a tremendous mistake. Remember, even Don Ciccio didn't want to let Vito live, for he knew that one day the weak kid would grow into a tough man and would probably want revenge. There is no avoiding war, it can only be postponed to the advantage of others. To sum up, yes, Vito slipped up. He thought he knew and saw it all, but he was outsmarted by the Turk. This is why Luca Brasi's mission was suicidal, just like Rocco Lampone's mission. The only thing was that Michael understood that he was sending Rocco to his grave. If you wanna learn why did the Godfather trade the life of Rocco Lampone for the life of Hyman Roth, then pay attention to the upper left-hand corner. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future Godfather videos. Support the channel by buying the Godfather merch. All the links are in the description. Make sure to watch the full Godfather playlist on the right. My name is Ivan Piatouski and you are watching Vano VHS.